Oh yeah, honey, I made notes. Hi team, I'm Lydia Faye, your ginger gal pal. And by the title of this video, I'm assuming that you've guessed I'm about to I'm about to spill some tea, sis. So I've been wanting to make a story time for a really long time, and this is it. I want to start off this video by saying I have had some fantastic experiences with Uber drivers. I even know people that drive for Uber. So I've had some amazing chats, and especially when I'm traveling, I love jumping in the front seat, treating them like a best friend that's giving me a lift and being like, hey, like, what bars do you like to go to? What do locals do for fun around here? Especially when you've got quite a long drive, or it can just be awkward if you treat them like a professional driver and you sit in the back seat and ignore them and be like, take me to my location. Like, I'm not a Bond villain, I'm not gonna do that. But while I was in LA doing VidCon, I had some interesting experiences with some Uber drivers. There's 5 drivers that really stand out to me, and it progressively gets worse. So on my very first day of VidCon, I wanted to get there early because right next to VidCon is the Hilton Hotel, and they have a Starbucks. So the Hilton Hotel is where all the big YouTubers stay. So I was like loitering a little bit, like, I was super great. The Uber driver picked me up and he seemed nice enough, and we're just chit-chatting about me going to VidCon, and I was buzzing because it was my first day, and we were passing Disneyland and he was just about to drop me off at the venue. And I'm just like, oh yeah, because in Hilton there's a Starbucks and I want to get a coffee and, like, you know, explain my little plan. And then he's just like, oh yeah, you want me to take you to Starbucks? No worries. So he stopped the meter and showed me that he stopped the meter and he was going to take me to Starbucks. And then he started driving away from the Hilton Hotel, and I'm like, buddy, like, said it was inside the Hilton. And he's like, yeah, no, I think it's just up here. And then he ended up getting lost, and he pulled into this random Starbucks that wasn't the one in the Hilton that I told him I wanted to go to. And he just parked and was just like, oh, like, I'll wait for you here, it's fine. I wanted, like, being nice. I'm like, oh, do you want me to get you anything? He's like, no, I'm fine. So I went in, got my Starbucks to go, got back in the car, and he turned the meter on again and took me all the way back and started charging me again. Like, that's interesting, isn't it? We've reached my destination and you've continued and made up a whole nother journey just so you could get more of a fare? Is that why you did it? I do like that about the Uber app. If you do have a bad experience, you can list why, and I said that they deviated from the route and did get reimbursed that extra money, so whatever. So the next morning I got in an Uber with a very religious man that was talking to me about how he disciplines his children. And it kind of went from that friendly chitter chatter over to a stage of just sharing too much information. And I kind of left the whole experience wondering if I should go out and buy a Bible or if I should call child services. It was just a very intense experience. It's not how I'd personally raise my children, but hey, each to their own. So then, after a lovely long day of panels and being amongst the creator atmosphere at VidCon, I was picked up by an Uber driver who, funny enough, is an online creator himself. I was genuinely really interested. I'm just like, oh wow, like, there's a channel for everyone out there, everyone's got their niche. He used it as an opportunity to talk about his YouTube channel, which is fine, we're all narcissists and want to talk about ourselves. So I rolled with it, and that's fine. It was an interesting interaction. And then it got to the point where I'm just like, oh yeah, check out your channel, like, oh cool, when I'm back on Wi-Fi. And then I'm just like, well, all the best with it. Opened the door, went to get out, and he kept chatting. We're at my accommodation, like, I was ready to leave, like, thanks. Maybe it's because I'm so socially awkward, I just didn't know how to exit the conversation. And without exaggerating, we were sitting in the car park for 10 minutes. Okay, we're at the end of the journey and now you're tacking on some personal time for you to talk about your channel. That's fine, like, I'm a nice human being sometimes, I'll indulge you. And it just got to the point where I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm really tired, I'm gonna head up and grab something to eat. Finally got back onto Wi-Fi, so I checked the trip review. It was almost double, and that's because he didn't actually turn off the meter reading while he was sitting in the car park talking to me. He was charging me for him to indulge himself. So I was sitting there, he wasn't driving me, I was at my accommodation, I had the door open, I wanted to leave, but I felt trapped in this awkward conversation. And he was charging me. What? No thank you. So again, thanks Uber for having an app where I can complain about my journey. So I did get reimbursed my $10, so I can't complain about the money side of it too much. I don't want to get too petty about it. But super odd, like, why are these Uber drivers going out of their way to charge you extra money? Not great, because I'm thinking about how many times have you done this to other people? You can't keep getting away with it. So Uber driver number 4, there was a guy from Mexico City that picked me up, and he was genuinely really interesting. He was talking about how he used to live in Mexico City and what that was like, and what it's like now living in America. So we're talking about immigration, because as an actress I've thought about moving out to LA a couple of times. So it was genuinely quite interesting. And then he started calling me mummy or mama or something, and I'm just like, what? I was willing to roll with it because I'm like, maybe this is a Mexican expression. So that aside, I kind of rolled with it, but it did make me a bit uncomfortable. And then as we were driving, he kept asking if I'd had anything to eat, and like, oh, like, I know some great, have you had any good Mexican food while you've been here? I'm like, oh, this and that, like, definitely willing to try some. Like, it's not that great in Australia, like, I'll give it a go because I love food. If you're hungry, I could take you to some good places that I know. And the stranger danger signal started going, so I was just like, oh, look, that sounds lovely, but you know, I just ate beforehand and I kind of want to have a shower, get to bed, I've got a big day tomorrow. So he kept pressuring me to go out and eat some tacos with him, and I just wasn't about that line. I think he was being friendly, but why do you think it's okay to hit on me? It's not okay. And lastly, but by no means the least, I had an amazing day at VidCon and then waited for my Uber. Waiting. When a van pulls up with big deer headlight hunting rig, and it had like speakers, and it was just pimped out and just this massive van. And he rolled down the window and was like,
Uber for Lydia?
I'm like, I don't think so. Turns out he was my Uber driver. I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird. I had to have this big step up to get into his huge, creepy pedophile van. Like, I'm sorry, but this is exactly what parents teach their children not to do. Don't go to the weird, creepy guy with the candy in the van. Don't get in the van. What did I do? I got in the van. So I was chatting with this guy. He didn't open the back door. Like, I did get in the front with him, and it just seemed like such an odd experience. So he started talking about how he's got such a great star review and everyone loves the banter with him, and like quite often I end up going out with my passengers. Like, we have such a great laugh that they invite me out. As a professional driver, I can't invite myself. I'm like, oh, okay, that sounds great. Meanwhile, so he's looking me in the eye, having a conversation, and then he'll just look down at my thighs and look back. And I often catching him just like looking down, because I'm wearing a summer dress. He keeps just looking down at my thighs, looking back at me. Excuse me, so unprofessional, so not okay. Stranger danger bells start going again. At which point he starts talking about the area that I've got my accommodation in and how he knows these great bars, and like, you know, I don't normally do this, but like, I can take you out for a drink, or have you had dinner? Like, I know some great places. Ugh, I do not have another Uber driver asking me out for a drink. What? No, thank you. So I use the same excuse. Oh, I just ate. Oh, I'm feeling tired. Just take me back to my accommodation, please. And then the conversation feels a bit forced and I'm getting really tensed and uncomfortable, and I'm not sure if he's picking up on it. Probably because he doesn't have any social cues. Anyway, I guess the point where we're near my accommodation, I'm like, just here's fine. I want to exit immediately. Open up to the door to the big pedophile van, jump out. I'm like, thank you for getting me home safely. Have a good night. Closed door, never want to see this person ever again. And as I'm walking away from the van, I hear over a loudspeaker,
Good night, Lydia.
What? Creepiest interaction ever. I don't care that you've got this big pedophile van with these big deer headlights and this PA system. Like, why do you have speakers on the front of your car? Don't use them. Don't say,
Good night, Lydia.
For the whole street to hear. Was he about to jump out with some hunting rifle and be like, Ch-ch. No, thank you. So fair enough, I was petrified of this man. Instead of walking to my accommodation, I didn't want him to know where I was staying for the evening, so I went into a local bar and was just like, haha, salvation. Waited for the creepy van to pull away, and then went inside to my accommodation. What? Why did he have a loudspeaker? And I've told this story so many times now, and every time my friends are like, that's so not okay. I'm like, all of these stories are not okay. So I feel like this is just a tale of stranger danger. When those warning signs go off, you know, you get that gut feeling, and you're right, you're always right. So have these experiences changed my overall Ubering experience? Yeah, of course. So I always sit in the back seat now. I start some polite conversation, and if I find them actually genuinely interesting, I'll continue it a little. Get some insider information from the locals, like I used to always enjoy. But if I get creeped out, or they're annoying, or they're odd or weird, I stare at my phone for the whole journey. So I hope you've enjoyed my creepy Uber driver stories and maybe learned something. It's good to be cautious. You don't have to freeze everyone out and be an asshole. But also, it's good to be cautious. So that was my first story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you did, because then I know to make more. And as always, subscribe to my channel. But that's enough ginger for one day.